live on Facebook, as well as some of you who are probably watching from certain social media. So this is FUNDCHAT 6, episode 6, and the panel discussion topic we focuses on university innovation and fundraising. Many of the universities that I get in touch with basically share their perspective and have a lot of conversation on the how, why, who, what, and therefore, today, I bring on this particular conversation. And again, good morning to you listeners, audience, distinguished guests, and my dear esteemed speakers. So we have Professor Dr. Arnat, Leemakdej, from Director of IP and Incubation Center of Thammasart University, Thailand. We have Dr. Sir King Ang, Dr. Ang, Principal Lecturer of Finance, Lee Kong Chian School of Business, Singapore Management University. You hear the word Singapore from Singapore. And of course, we have Dr. Marzan, Aziz Iskandar, IPU Rector of Institute of Teknologi, Indonesia. So episode 6 is in fact one of the most demanded topics that cut across globally. Okay. University innovation and fundraising. It is a very extremely vital conversation. So today we stand at a pivotal moment in the evolution of education and innovation. So university, basically as the pillar of knowledge and progress, are no longer just that. Like it or not, they have to transform as well, as just like what the trend is right now. So they're no longer just a center of learning, but an incubator of innovation, as well as pushing the boundary of what we once deemed impossible. Okay, university, in the old days, just university. But today's university, they have a big game on fusion of academia and innovation, creating the wave of change. And the time to invest in this powerful synergy has never been more opportune. So universities are no longer ivory towers, solely focused on lectures and exams. Over. That conversation is long over. Okay, they have become actually the bustling hubs of creativity, nurturing groundbreaking ideas, trailblazing research, putting themselves out to the industry, working with the industry, and then from cutting edge scientific research and scientific discovery to inventive social initiative. You can name, they cut across all the industry. And these institutions are actually driving the engine of progress, and they are actually the real change maker if they want to in the whole entire global economy. So the investment in university innovation is not just an allocation of funds. Like what I told my speaker earlier, that there are many universities innovations that are super well done in whichever country that I've so far stepped in. They lack the power of branding and marketing and telling the world what they really have. Because many a times, even those trips that they make, most of the time is actually universities to universities. I was joking with one of the universities that how was their past years of trips of exchange? What are the agendas that was lined up? are mainly, they will go to another university to look at what the other universities is doing, and then they come back and they say, oh, that university is doing so great, let's do what they do, but do it better. Then I say, okay, this is not going to help because it's still trapped within that space, right? I say, I want you to step out of your comfort zone. Go meet the business and then start thinking business, start feeling and experience what the industry gaps or problems such that you can bring on that solution. So I have to say that by investing in universities innovation, we are actually planting the seed of progress, and we gotta be a part of it somehow. And we're also fostering an environment where the brightest mind can flourish. This conversation about fundraising, innovation, I love to quote some of the examples like in Stanford, in MIT, in Berkeley, quite a good numbers of Ivy League universities, students today no longer just wait for their universities to give them money. They basically put themselves out there. If they created a super good idea that they believe that the world needs it, they get onto crowdfunding platform. They get out to enroll angels. They go out and tell the story. They even set up meetings with VCs. They even get out to engage the business. But I haven't really seen it in Asia. I see it in overseas, in the US, in Europe. I'm seeing it slightly more in Japan right now. Korea, I'm not that very sure. India, you can't hold back India. India is going all out. And in fact, the government is encouraging this whole entire conversation. So innovation basically is fueled by investment in universities. And in my favorite term, in all the FUNDCHAT, I tell people investment is hope. You know, you don't have investment, you got no hope. So I don't mean that exactly no hope. All right. So I have to say that I implore each of you to consider the immense potential in supporting these academic powerhouses. All right. And, you know, without further ado, I'm going to bring on my panelists to the audience, and what they will be doing for this whole flow of FUNDCHAT is that each of my panelists will share 10 minutes limited, but they got so much to tell, right? So they are ready, they are excited, and they'll be sharing from their perspective of what their universities are actually doing, how are they contributing, what have they been doing, working with the industry. And I really hope that, you know, in the midst of all this conversation, if you have any ideas, the listeners, you can, you know, pump in the suggestion or the question. So over to you, Dr. Arnat, Director of IP, Property and Incubation Center, Thammasart University. In fact, the very first time when I met Dr. Arnat, he came to my office, and he was bravely exploring the conversation of working with the industry and looking at crowd investing. So Dr. Arnat, my experience with him is I've also met him in many occasions. He has also generously introduced me to Thammasat system. So over to you, Dr. Arnat. You have
Thank
your
you.
10 minutes.
Thank you, Hong Sin. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure today to have a chance to share the experience from Thailand. And I'm also eager to learn from the partner in Singapore and Indonesia. Let me tell you briefly about myself. Before I became the lecturer in the university, I have to admit that I never thought in my life that I'm going to be the end up being the lecturer in the university because the background of my family is in business. And the first job that I did when I graduate is to be a banker for commercial bank in Thailand. And for those of you in Asia, you know that if you like to do business, the first person that you need to know is a banker because at that time, about 30, 40 years ago, I would like to say that the economy run by banking system, not the capital market, not the crowdfunding platform that we know today. So at that time, if you know the banker and you can access to a very cheap loan from the bank, it's guarantee your success, right? So in order to know the banker, just become the banker yourself. After I worked for the bank for a while, I think that, well, it's not enough for me to set up my own business. So I should know something about marketing because I graduate from economics. Okay, so let's work for the marketing company. Then I joined Unilever at that time to be a key account manager or sales manager in short. Okay, so here in this, I learned a lot of things from Unilever. I know how to work professionally, how to live in the corporate world, and well, for a while I continued my study for PhD, and I got the idea to set up the startup at the same time while doing my dissertation. At that time, I would like to say that it's the dot-com boom, the period of 1995 to 1998 before it bust in 2000, as we know. So at that time, everything is possible. If you would like to do anything in any country, there's no regulation. Okay, the only obstacle is the bandwidth of the internet. I would like to say that. But anyway, people are so open. But you see that we lack many infrastructure, not just in terms of the legal infrastructure, but in terms of the financial system, the payment system does not allow us to do e-commerce securely. Okay, but I consider this as the opportunity. But anyway, after I graduated from PhD, I found that it is quite difficult to graduate. At first, I thought I can do it easily. Okay, but uh, I got the idea. Okay, since I got doctoral degree in business, instead of wasting my time learning business only, I just want to share my knowledge to the student. So I joined Thammasart University. Thammasat University is, I would like to say that the second oldest university in Thailand. This year we are celebrating our 90th anniversary, and it was set up, uh, I would like to say, in purely bureaucrat system. So at that time, about 30 years ago, I would like to learn that, well, how can we, transform the university into something that is more productive, something that is more responsive to the corporate world. And I shared this idea with my friend. And with the courtesy of the British ambassador at that time, he funded me to visit Cambridge. He told me that because Cambridge, followed the idea initiated by Stanford 20 years ago. If you like to learn first-hand experience, just go to Cambridge. So I spent about a week in Cambridge and in other part of UK, and learn many things. But one thing that I can still remember is that for all professor that I met at Cambridge, he will present me with two name cards. One card as the assistant professor in this department, another card as the CEO of this particular company that had been set up in Cambridgeshire. Cambridgeshire is something like Silicon Valley of Stanford. So he told me that in the past, before we set up this unit, once the school stopped, everybody goes home, and then it's the quiet town. But now it turns the quiet town into a very active business district. And professor set up the firm in this district and recruit the student to be the intern or even the first group of employees. So I think we should develop the same thing in Thammasat University. So I came back and I talked to the lecturer at that time. Well, as I remind you again, about nearly 30 years ago. But at that time, we are 100% state university. So we cannot set up any other legal entity. And they told me that, okay, after we transform the university to be the university under regulation by the government, not 100% state, university, we can do anything. So we transform our university by drafting our regulation, allowing us to set up the business entity like now. And I tell you about the ecosystem of funding through the university in Thailand. You would think that in US model, Stanford, Cambridge, or many university, in particular the private one, they set up the big holding company. They do themselves as the venture capitalists. But unlike in Thailand, when we talk about money, people are so conservative. People are so concerned. In particular, if it is the government money, you can invest, but you cannot lose. Whereas the figure, the statistic guarantee us that you're going to lose 90% of your investment, but not in terms of the money, but in terms of the company. For example, if you invest 10 companies, 9 of them is, like more likely to go out of the business. And we do not know who are they, right? If we do know, we should not to invest, right? So I would like to say it's a risky business. So in order to allow us to create a holding company, we have to draft many regulation. We are in the process to adjust the regulation, not just only in terms of funding, but also allowing our lecturer, our researcher staff to run the company while maintaining the status of being a university employee. Okay, and we also have partner of the funding agency, and all of them, as I show in this picture, run by the government unit. But luckily, the government know more about how to take risks, so invest a lot of money through the university by this agency. Okay, and if I would like to present the relationship between the university and the corporation, together with the stage of investment or the state of life cycle or the startup, I think we can show by this picture. You can see that from the idea state, the student can participate in the competition funded by another government agency, but they need to be the student in the university. After they compete, they got the profile and they got the seed fund, they can move on to the next step. Okay, and I think this, for this step, and after this, we're going to have the collaboration closely with the business, because the government know that in the past we spent a lot of money to create, I would like to say, to create invention, but not innovation. Because if it is innovation, it must be the invention that you can sell, you can make the money commercialize from it. So like now, the government know that if we invest in invention without collaboration from corporation, at the end we just got the paper. Maybe we publish in the journal, but the country might not get anything much from that investment. So you can see that the weight of all fund now move to the right part, toward the corporation, together with the government. Together with the university, the government will fund through all the projects in order to make sure that all inventions in the university will be commercialized through all this business partner. Okay, and so this is the overview of Thailand funding system through the government. I have left just only 1 minute, so I tell you about what happened in Thammasat University. Like now, we also have the resources, not just only in terms of funding, but as I told you, the I would like to say that we also have the ecosystem that including the potential early adopter. For example, in our campus, we have um, around 40,000 students that are early adopters. So I said in the business of startup, we would like to fail forward and fail quick in order to learn that this business model does not work. So here in this case, the best way to apply and learn about this fail forward is through those early adopter in the university. Because if you cannot sell to these people, you cannot expect to sell to others. Okay, so I will end my presentation at this point, and after this we can share in the later part. Thank you.
Super, Arnat. I never know your background. Interesting. From business family to, from banker to marketeers to lecturer. Well, I think this is a very purposeful journey. It's impressive. And also the work that you have put on to support the ecosystem. And I'm, of course, glad to see Sinwatana logo right on the top, as one of your funding journey plan. So, but it's definitely well addressed in the sense of that, I mean, Thammasat is very lucky to actually have you to think of all the corners and angles to look at engaging the industry and also to create the space for the students. Again, working and serving in Thailand for the last decade, I must say, truly, it is true that what Dr. Arnat shared about conservativeness. But I think the conservativeness comes very much from the risk assessment on how risky the project or the fund's gonna be, because every one of us are answerable to the one who comes up with the money. So, thank you very much, Dr. Arnat, for this sharing. And may I invite a good friend of mine, Rector of ITI, Dr. Marzan.
Thank you.
I knew Marzan for a very long time. In fact, the very first time when I met him was, I was wearing my hat as cybersecurity distributor, products entering into Indonesian market. He was the president of BPPT, which is similar to like a A-STAR, but now BPPT has merged with another agency that call themselves BRIM. And he has coached me quite a lot in terms of the way Indonesian works, some aspect of how they think, and of course, what it takes to actually, do a good business in Indonesia. As we all know, culture is extremely important when we enter into a country to do business. So as he retired from his main role, I was like, okay, what my coach is doing or what my mentor is doing, right? So I'm like stalker, So when he landed himself in the university, I said, what is he up to? And he actually invited me once to the Institute, and he has a bunch of team members that are full of fire, that wants to do a lot of things. And we discuss also about fundraising. We discuss also about funding. In the context of Indonesia, getting access to funding is also another big challenge. As much as you think that Indonesia has unicorns, several big numbers, in fact, good numbers of unicorns. But on many other aspects, they also have their challenges. So over to you, my dear friend, and my dear mentor, my coach, Dr. Marzan. 10 minutes.
Thank you, Hong Sin. May I share my slide with you?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen who are watching our FUNDCHAT event. And good morning to speakers, Prof.Dr. Arnat and also Dr. Ang from Singapore. So today I would like to share with you about the experience of our university, Institute of Teknologi Indonesia, about innovation and fundraising. As described by Hong Sin, my previous job was the researcher at the Agency for the Government, Agency for the Assessment and Application of Technology. And after retired from the agency, I then appointed as the Rector of Institute of Teknologi Indonesia. If you talk about the innovation and fundraising, Indonesia is still very much depend upon the role of the government office. And in Indonesia, at least there are 3 government office that play the instrumental role in innovation and fundraising. The first one is Ministry of Education, Culture and Research and Technology. This office provide matching fund for research with cooperation scheme with industry partners, and also competitive funds, grant for research for independent campus competition program. And also from 2020, the ministry launched the new policy, so-called Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka, or independent learning, independent campus program. Two programs on startups, strengthening startups and development of startups. These programs is conducted in collaboration with 6 universities all over the countries, including our campus, Institute of Teknologi Indonesia, as one of the partners. And the third one is National Research and Innovation Agency, or in Indonesia we call it BRIN. This is the only one, University Government Research and Innovation in Indonesia, which is conducting from basic to applied research and innovation, also provides competitive grant funds. And with the universities, BRIN has the program of development research collaboration center. Due to resources constraint and limited extent of collaboration, all universities in Indonesia, especially private universities, tend to conduct research on waste treatment, food, materials, information, technology as enabler. And I would like very briefly to share with you about our campus, Institute of Teknologi Indonesia. ET is a private university founded in 1984 by Professor B.J. Habibie, the Minister of Research and Technology, and also the 3rd President of the Republic of Indonesia. Our campus is located in B.J. Habibie Science and Techno Park, southern part of Jakarta. Number of students, less than 3,000. Number of alumni, more than 12,000. Our vision is to become a technology-based entrepreneurial university. We have 10 study programs, mostly engineering, from electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, up to agriculture, industrial technology, as well as management. And since 2016, ET has established a mandatory entrepreneurship courses for all study programs, divided into basic entrepreneurship, 2 credits, and advanced entrepreneurship, 3 credits. And in ET, the research and community services program are coordinated by Research and Community Service Center, and innovation strengthening and fundraising programs are coordinated by the Innovation and Business Incubation Center. So the Innovation and Business Incubation Center was established and developed to become the best partner for all innovators and technology-based business startups. And their duty and functions are to encourage the entrepreneurial spirit, technology-based innovation and commercialization in academic community and society, as well as to develop business incubation. The service offered in this center is are providing an optimal and comfortable working space for emerging entrepreneurs, and then build business network between investors and inventors, mentoring, training, business consulting with professional consultants, and last but not least, marketing facility to introduce startup products. Also, we offer the training program for students and the tenants of the business incubation. For instance, certification and business legality, also, and the role of IP in the industry, human resource management, brand marketing, taxation, and up to digitalization of supply chain for startups. So we offer this all kind of this training program. And for EC students who have decided from the beginning that they want to be entrepreneurs, we provide entrepreneurship program as illustrated in this figure. Throughout each semester, the student will be provided with, for instance, semester 1 and 2, with the formation of business mindset and ideas, and then followed by provided with basic engineering concept, where students are given the opportunity to attend lecture in other study program in accordance with their business ideas, and then followed by semester 4 and 5 with basic and advanced entrepreneurship. And in semester 6 to 8, we hopefully have already have the students have the venture company, and this may become the campus business where the students that already graduates can cooperate with university and the supervising lecturer as well. The activities in the business incubation, including mentoring on IPR website, and assistance to students as well as the community, benchmarking study, workshop, building network, coaching, program dissemination, bootcamp as well, and also mentoring from the experienced industrial practice on finance, tax, and digital marketing. This figure shows the tenant growth in our incubation business incubators from 2015. We established in 2015, and last year the tenant is reaching 54 in total, including pre-incubation, outward, inward tenant, and outward tenant as well. And this is the example, one example of the graduate, incubator graduate, PT Organic ET Industry. The product is Ultramix, the first product Ultramix. It is a rubber homogenizing, very innovative products. For improving the quality of the clip rubber. And the second product is Antiox, is an innovative modification of polyphenol compounds. This product has been scaled up and obtained export market to China. The second example is PKMnet. The product is innovative products of palm oil, palm kernel cake, utilizing the technology to produce high quality livestock feed. This is for poultry digestion, and the product has been scaled up to mass production with the collaboration with the palm oil industry in Kalimantan Island. And the third example is San Morchi. This is a non-fruit juice beverage processed through fermentation technology involving natural microbes. The product has been scaled up and export to Malaysia, China, and Japan. We have also tenants in the process of commercialization and incubation. This is several examples. For instance, Ahens have the device for increasing the productivity of eco-friendly shrimp ponds. And then also a device to sterilize easier and safely for the most DAP early detection device for health issues, and then the robot vision. This is thermal phase attendance system. Another provides automatic practical organic waste processor. On material, we have a cellulose from palm oil industry solid waste, and also paving blocks made with a mix of natural fibers and plastic waste. Food and beverage, coconut water with a shelf life of 1 year, and also instant vegetable broth from upright tempeh. Last but not least, in beauty and health, we have a tenants, Cocozone. Skin product is skin beauty solution with ozonite fidget coconut oil, and Rocco produce collagen from fish scales. We also organize the startup competition and exhibition since 2021. We call it FUNDCHAT EP, where the innovative products from the students as well as from the community can be also join this exhibition. Very brief about the role of crowdfunding in Indonesia, because this is the competence of Hongxin. As far as I know, there are several crowdfunding platform companies in Indonesia that have officially operated and obtained permission from OJK, the Financial Services Authority, such as Land, Kitabisa.com, and Accelerant. And currently, there are several our campus tenants that are applying for funding through crowdfunding platforms. And in general, the requirements that must be met are that the tenant must already be a company that has a business license, business plan, and cash flow. But we is still on the pipeline, so the process isn't there for our tenants. And I think this is the last slide of mine. Our business partner covering from the government, local government, university, foundation, entrepreneurship foundation, company, and also as well as a university, all over the country as well and international. And of course, I would be very happy if I can collaborate with international or global partners as Thammasart University, and of course Singapore Management University of Dr.Ir. So with this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Yongchin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Marzan. As usual, you never, miss all the critical point. I think you also brought in a lot of exciting information about how the universities have actually developed the talents that you have breathed through your program to the international space. And even impressive that some of them has already started their exporting to different parts of the world. I mean, I hear you clear. Definitely that, the purpose of having FUNDCHAT is not just about just having a show. It's actually all about the connections and the collaboration after FUNDCHAT. So, these are very vital to what we are doing. Also from the aspect of Sinwatana side is that our vision and our plan for 2024 is to actually work very closely with the universities, take whatever the universities have, and then we are going to put it onto the Sinwatana Wealth platform and feature them. And we're going to operate very much like a, I want to say that like the amplifier together for the universities. Then, of course, we have a certain aspect of the curation in terms of the types of the readiness of the company to serve the business society. All right. So we have work to do, lots of work to do. So we are already starting to work with a couple of universities, and we hope to, of course, also include you. You know, maybe in the space there, you have a logo that says Watana Wealth. You know, so okay. So and I think one of the key conversation that I picked up from your sharing is the power of how the government is supporting the growth and the development of the country, in terms of not just about funding access, but to also have the a very good test bed, because Indonesia have 265 million people. That is very huge, and there are a lot of things that can be done. So let's hear from Dr. Ang and see what he would have to be sharing from the Singapore perspective. Audience, you have heard from Thailand, Dr. Arnat. You have heard from Indonesia, Dr. Marzan. Now, let me pass the baton to Dr. Ang. That's my motherland, Singapore, you know. So to new audience that just came in, I'm based in Thailand. So over to you, Dr. Ang.
Thank you, Hong Sin. Good morning, everyone. It's delightful to be on a panel with very distinguished speakers. And also wonderful to learn about what the various universities are doing with respect to this area. Just as a quick introduction, my name is Sir Kang. I've been with SMU for 20 years. I also went through the industry route. I was in capital markets or investment banking, spent several years in London. My career also expanded to Hong Kong for 5.5 years, and then also Singapore. So in total, I've been away for about 10 years from Singapore. Now, I stumbled over teaching by pure accident. I fell madly with it, and I've been in this business for the last 20 years, and I love teaching. Besides teaching some of the MBA courses, I also spend a great deal of time coaching entrepreneurs. I also spend a great deal of time helping early stage investors or early stage companies to grow their business. And that also includes fundraising, right? Okay, so this is about SMU. Very quickly, we are a rather new university. We're about 22 years old. Established in 2000. It's the first publicly funded university that's privately managed in Singapore. And SMU, some of you may know, is known for interactive and technological enabled pedagogy of seminar style teaching in small sizes. Now, to date, we have about 8 schools, and these are the 8 schools. The 2 of the biggest include the Lee Kong Chian School of Business, as well as the School of Information Systems that you see over here. Okay. Now, in terms of innovation in education, I've been over the last 20 years seen a lot of changes, and of course, education sector, like any other businesses, right? Change, they mature. And of course, over the last many years, right, we have to pivot, and just like any business, right, to stay relevant, right? Now, with respect to innovation and entrepreneurship, we actually get engaged in 2 different aspects. One is the teaching and the in-class curriculum. Here you see in the undergraduate level, we have innovation and entrepreneurship major, where for a student on undergraduate level, if they want to specialize in innovation and entrepreneurship, they take 2 core courses, which includes entrepreneurship and business creation, as well as corporate entrepreneurship and innovation, or leading new ventures to grow. Now, on top of that, they take another 4 innovation and entrepreneurship elective. And these are some of the electives that students can choose from. Now, on the MBA side, we also have an entrepreneurship track. Again, that allows an opportunity for MBAs to deepen their knowledge about entrepreneurship and innovation. Now, on top of that, outside the classroom, we also have opportunities for students to get their hands dirty, coming by way of the UOB SMU Asian Enterprise Institute, which is an institute that is a collaboration with small, medium-sized enterprises, UOB, regional bank, as well as SMU. And here we provide students an opportunity to work together with SMEs to grow their business. So we have schemes like SME Consulting Program, SME Development Series, as well as the SME Learning Portal. Now, on top of that, we also have an Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and I'm going to share with you the suite of things that they do, right, for students to get involved in entrepreneurship and innovation. So I'm going to run through with you each and every one of them, including the Global Innovation Immersion, Protege Ventures, various student clubs that get involved in innovation and entrepreneurship, BIG, which is our incubator program, the greenhouse, which is a lot of space for students and outsiders to make use of, VC office hours, as well as the Lee Kuan Yew case study competition. Okay, first up, the Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship aspire to do three things. We nurture change makers and founders who aspire to make the world a better place. Now, how do we do it? We cultivate them, we coach them, and we provide a chance to convene them, right? And these are the three buckets of things that we do at IIE. Now, the Global Immersion Program, or the Global Innovation Immersion Program, allows students to spend between 3 and 6 months, right, for an internship in an innovation and entrepreneurship scene, right? And it provides students with an opportunity to be in many countries. So to date, we have actually had 409 students sent, 171 participating companies, over 23 global cities. Now, on the Protege venture, we aim to groom Southeast Asian next generation of tech-savvy and entrepreneurial leaders. We have so far trained 251 students, and 70% of them obtain jobs in internship in innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem. So Protege Venture aspire to train next generation of entrepreneurial leaders through hands-on end-to-end VC training and extensive network building, with tertiary students deploying real capital to help students, entrepreneurs, to build scalable ventures. Now, we represent a wide host of institutions, including, of course, SMU, NUS, NTU, SUTD, and most of the reputable tertiary institutions, including INSEAD, ISIC, Yale, and US. Okay, just a little bit about the BIG. We have a number of, about Protege Ventures. Again, some more statistics. I've mentioned 251 students trained, 60% increase in application in 2020, and 70%, as I mentioned, obtained jobs in internship. We have to date evaluated about 1,100 deals, okay, and we've invested $265,000 in 10 different setups, and some of the names you see in front of you. Okay, so these are the various student clubs that are involved in innovation and entrepreneurship. Now, we encourage students to drive many of these initiatives. And you see just a cross-section of institutions or student clubs that are students are actually running, like, for example, Eagles, Inc., or Apex. All right. Now, BIG stands for Business Innovations Generator, and this is our incubator program. And there are several advantages of this. Of course, some of them include things like equity-free 9 months downtown co-working space that's available at the greenhouse, mentorship support, master classes, supportive entrepreneur community, and of course, access to funding. Right. Now, this greenhouse is a very unique space that we have that brings together over 500 entrepreneurs, innovators, researchers, right? And it's situated right smack in the middle of the city. And it is about 700 square meters of innovation lab that people can tap on to make their ideas, right, into reality. Now, last but not least, I'd like to introduce to you the Lee Kuan Yew case study competition. Now, this is a very big scale competition. We received in the last competition 1,000 submission, over 1,100 universities were represented, over 77 countries. And the focus of this competition is innovation or sustainability. There were 53 finalists, 45% on urban solution and sustainability, and 34% were on human health and potential. All right, so that's all I want to say about what we do in innovation, and I look forward to engaging the panel as well as all of you on our discussion on the topic in a bit. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I wanted to say that, you know, it has always been impressive universities are doing, particularly SMU, because my son actually attended one of the incubation sites when he was launching his platform. So he was actually coached under your incubators.
VIG.
I mean, incubation. Yeah. So again, with all three universities in action, you see to the audience, you see a variance of what the universities actually focus on. But one of the very key common thing is you observe is how the universities are reaching out to engage the industry, at the same time empowering the students to actually be bold, to get out of the universities and do something. This is super, super encouraging. As the generation evolve and the trend changes, we get a lot more of the younger generation becoming entrepreneurs far at an early stage. And quoting what one of you have actually mentioned about fail forward. Yeah, you fail early, and then you get a taste of experience, and then the next thing is you get better and better and better. And that's why today's society, we see that there are a lot more younger millionaires. Forbes gets very busy when they start to work on their Forbes 30. You know, there are so many to choose from across ASEAN, or even cut over to Asia. So our immediate conversation is, you know, I've seen some of you already covered on how you nurture entrepreneurship, and you know, the core context about like university working towards the mission and vision. But I think one of the context is that how do you actually empower the students? You have your program, but how do you get them into action, right? More from the perspective of you holding that role in running this whole program. How do you get these people in action? Okay, no text. I mean, no hardcore curriculum, but what it takes for you, because I think it is so vital. As you lead by the examples, whether if it's a prodigy venture, whether if it's a Thammasat, startup program, whether if it's like the tenets of what Dr. Marzan has been nurturing. I want to invite all three of you to share your perspective, so that, you know, and also other than empowering them, you know, what it also takes for you to nurture them in terms of creating a meaningful differences in the community. So I'm going to start with Dr. Ang.
Thank you. Thank you, Hong Sin. I think there are two components to this. I think it often takes two hands to clap. And I think from that perspective, right, I think raising the awareness of the excitement with the young people is actually one aspect of it, right? So we do so through curriculum, raising awareness and how to kind of navigate to the rough terrain of entrepreneurship. On the other hand, we also have, create an ecosystem, right, where they can actually meet like-minded people, they can actually collaborate, they can tap on resources that will actually help them get something off the ground. Now, today, you can actually say, well, entrepreneurship is easier or more difficult, depending on how you look at it. It's kind of easier because there's so much resources, a lot of different avenues of getting help to do entrepreneurship. But at the same time, competition is actually a lot more intense. So I think it really boils down to getting the system in place, empowering or raising awareness of the students, but at the same time, also offering them an opportunity to get their hands dirty and getting plugged into an ecosystem that will enable them to meet like-minded people and learn from other people. I think that's really what we are doing, and I think that's really two critical components to the success of any ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you. As I explained in the previous presentation, that our campus is the engineering campus. But in our campus, we have the curriculum integration where the students from, for instance, electrical engineering study program can choose to study another study program, for instance, join the course in the management. So with this, we hope that students can have the broaden vision, broaden knowledge to develop their idea on innovation. Also, we provide the students with the experiential learning internship in the industry. This is supported by with the policy of Ministry of Education. So, and also we have incubators, and we have been collaborating with alumni association, for instance, to support our activities, and research and development with the BRIN, National Research and Innovation Agency, whose the Science Center Park is located very near to our campus. So this is, I think, the example of our effort to nurture entrepreneurship in our campus.
Dr. Marzan, thank you very much.
I think besides the curriculums that they have to study in the class, I would like to say that in order to get their hand dirty, as Dr. Ang mentioned, we have to think about two problems. How do you get their hand dirty? The first approach is that to encourage them to set up the business while they are students. Or the second approach is that we allow them or enable them to have the internship experience with the startup instead of setting up their own companies. And of 40,000 students that we do have at our university, 35,000 undergrads. So I think for those undergrad students, if we encourage them to set up the business while they are studying, I'm not sure if they can graduate or not. And if I were their parent, I would like to encourage them to study and get me the degree first. But anyway, just only few of them, if they are eager to set up the business, I would like to say that, okay, we allow them to do that. But I would like to say that it is very difficult for them to do that. So we aim for the second approach. For those who already graduate or currently studying for master degree, I think this is a very interesting group, and we have about 3,000 students in this group who might want to set up the business. So we do have two programs to encourage them. First, we provide free co-working space, and as I mentioned earlier, the co-working space will enable them to hire the undergrad to work as the intern. So instead of setting up their own business in the university, they will become the employee of their seniors who are now studying for master degree. So that's the first thing that we help them to set up the business. And the second thing is that we do create what we call startup exchange program with the sponsorship from the Bangkok Bank. The startup exchange program, to make it short, is similar to the student exchange program, but rather than swapping you to other university to learn, we just swap you to. We also have to deal with Polynet in Singapore to get there and work there and exchange the idea with the colleague in Singapore. Or luckily that I know Dr. Marzan today. So hopefully in the near future we extend to Indonesia too. Okay, and you can also send your startup to work in our complex. For example, recently I recruit 2 students from Nghi An Polytechnic to work at Thammasart University, and they work very well. So I also extend this invitation to other university as well. Thank you.
I'm hearing a lot of collaboration in action, and I'm really excited on this whole entire conversation where universities who was once being seen as, you know, you're there just to get a degree, get a doctorate, and you're done, and then you go out of the university, you go figure out and start to build your career. Today, you actually start your conversation in within the university to explore businesses even before you graduate. And there is so much sharing, common sharing from all 3 of you that talks about, you know, opens up network, connecting them to so-and-so. These resources, even the co-working space, you know, that actually cut the expense immediately, that they can do things and not just doing it by themselves, but also there are seniors, there are coaches, there are mentors, there are even like what Marzan say, brain is just within their campus, you know, like the stakeholders are just within the campus. These are all very good resource. And one to talk and to top up to what you have shared, I wanted to know, which is not in the planned questions, all right, how do the world, or how do you actually get to know, or rather how the people that is not within your universities actually get to know the great things that you're doing? How do you market your universities? So this is out of it, because you are very into the great stuff that you're doing. Now I'm going to challenge you guys. If today I want to go to, let's say after this conversation, after FUNDCHAT, I say, wow, you know, Indonesia have this, Thailand have that, Singapore have this. Where do I go to? How do I know? What is the channel? How do you tell the world of the great things that you are doing, other than your website, other than the network, right? So I'm gonna start with Dr. Ang.
Okay, I think you had mentioned website, and I think one these days it's almost like the go-to places. And of course, the Lee Kuan Yew case study competition is one forum that we reach out to people and we let them know what we are doing in this space. Now, other than that, again, you know, through our various ways of engaging industry partners, donors, and people we collaborate with to bring in to encourage and to deepen the richness of the ecosystem. I think these are sort of the various ways we kind of reach out, right, to kind of share. I mean, this is something that we as a university cannot do on our own. We collaborate with people from the outside. So if you look at, say, our institute that I've been running, the UOB SMU Asian Enterprise Institute, we couldn't have done it without, you know, financial support as well as time from entrepreneurs who guides us in what we do to make it continue to be relevant to the students and to our SMEs. Now, likewise, IIE continuously look for ways to partner external collaborators in order for you, for students to get the kind of relevant working experience or the exposure that they need. And I think through the a very powerful word of mouth, you can actually gain a fair bit of critical mass. Now, this is particularly useful, important for a small, tiny country like Singapore, where the domestic market is so small, and we actually count on tapping the region, right, to do. And in some cases, we also collaborate with like-minded universities. We work across the university network as well to create even more opportunities for students.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ang. Over to you, Marzan. Dr. Marzan.
Yes, I think we cannot develop as well as nurturing the entrepreneurship, as well as to have startups successfully within our university environment itself. So we have to collaborate with external partners, and we hopefully can get a global research collaboration, for instance, with other university, as well as global research organization. But in Indonesia, at present, we basically very depend upon the how to have the engagements with the government. So as I described in my presentation, the government, the central government is still very dominant. It is very instrumental to provide grants, competitive grants, as well as programs to develop the business, the entrepreneurship, and startups in Indonesia. But also, we now keep working hard to develop our incubators to make it better, and then much more partners in industrial as well as research and development institution, and of course the funding partners. And last but not least, we also invite the alumni through alumni association. A successful alumni, for instance, was invited to share their knowledge as well as their participation in developing the entrepreneurship and the incubation center in our institution. So I think these are needed for all of the collaboration necessary.
Thank you, Dr. Marzan. Dr. Arnat, over
Yes,
to you about Thailand.
Yes, thank you. Two main approach. I think the first approach is the convention one, like the others, is that through the university network. So clearly, I asked the support from the vice lecturer in international affairs that normally deal with the student exchange program. That okay, so from now on, when you go abroad, try to promote the idea of startup exchange program too, because I found that many university, in particular in Europe, in the US, they do have the program like us. They have co-working space incubation as a related platform. So, but they might not know about what we are doing here. So, like now, we try to see all those people, because I cannot go there myself to promote the program. Okay, that's one thing. And the other thing that I'm thinking now, I'm developing on this idea because I used to work for Unilever, and I think one issue that Unilever tried to think about this problem before is that when we promote, advertise our particular product like Sunsilk shampoo, in the past we just promote it as Sunsilk shampoo. But right now, if you see the commercial, you see that they also have the brand of Unilever. So I think that if you have a strong brand like this as a group umbrella brand, you just take this opportunity to promote jointly. That if it is the product from this particular company, it can be guarantee of the quality kind like that. So I'm thinking that because we grew many startups, so right now I have to admit that I would like to say that we do not have the startup that go up to the level that we can promote by this approach. But recently, we also have a startup called Yabase that also won the Lee Kuan Yew business case competition in SMU recently. So I think that is a good example. Maybe in the next few years, when they are stronger like this, we launch a campaign for selected group of the startup. We may jointly sponsor them for advertisement, and then we put the brand. Okay, I think this is a win-win situation. We also promote our, university services to the outside world, and we also guarantee the quality product from our startup. So this is the thing that I'm developing now.
Pretty encouraging, and it kind of like also sync up with the plan and the work that we are going to do from Sinwatana standpoint. Just to also share with the audience, by having this whole fun chat, I don't know whether after this fun chat, SMU, Thammasat, or even ITI, what you're going to do, because with your busy schedule, you generally will get on with your next to-do list on your agenda. So in 2024, what Sinwatana is doing is that we actually would be looking at university like yourself, bringing all the great work, and then we're going to market it actually to the world. And only on the ground that we get the rights and appointment from you to do it. Because from the conversation that I hear, a lot of context on collaboration, a lot of conversation about partnership, and of course, in the case of what Dr. Marzan mentioned about the power of the government empowering the university to move forward, to do more things. And in which also in the case of Singapore and of course in Thailand as well. It's just that where the funds are coming from. And that leads on to my last question to all of you, as in like, how can universities actually, or in fact, you already mentioned they are collaborating with a global scale, right? We are talking about, a lot about the collaboration perspective, the program that every one of you are running, the engagement that you are driving in the industry here. The last questions is really about investment and funding to fund the work that you are doing. So maybe let me start with Dr. Arnat.
I do agree with Kun Hong Sin that if we do have the partner like Sinwatana, okay, and to promote our activity, and because you have the event to have the gatherings of global investors, I think it is a good opportunity, and we are considering how to join this program. Yes.
So Dr. Arnat talks about the event that I'm going to host, which is called the Global Investor Exchange Forum, that was originally planned and targeted to bring on 300 SMEs and startups to raise funds together. So because of the intensity, we have actually right now bring that conversation into a single day focused conversation about the global investment confluence, where we consolidate all into one day, where we bring on the global investors to look at the projects that is across the region. And then we will open that conversation into project financing, M&A, fund management, and more. So thank you for bringing this up, Dr. Arnat. Definitely, the Global Investor Exchange Forum focusing on the startup SMEs, we have actually parked over to 2025. But before that, I think if, let's say, for a start, that we can enroll all these three universities, including Cambodia and a couple of other regions, the universities who want us to, market the conversation of the startups, then we would be having maybe even a focused conversation on universities' investment. Okay, so the universities can then bring on the startups and showcase, and then we can do that fundraising together. As for location, I invite all three of you all to decide. Okay, all right, not necessarily Thailand. So
Indonesia. I would thought Indonesia.
So since Dr. Arnat talks about Indonesia, so let me hear from Dr. Marzan.
Thank you. It's very interesting discussion. We in ITI is very now is struggling to get funding for our tenants and our startups, graduate startups, to move to do their business, especially in scaling up their business. So I think the collaboration or supported from Sinvatana crowdfunding is very helpful to develop our startups in our campus. And what or your offering, I think we better to discuss it further before make any decision.
Sure, definitely. Dr. Marzan, you have always been very supportive.
Yeah.
And for Indonesia context, for the benefit of the other two universities, I have been invited by Dr. Marzan to share the perspective of fundraising. Today, we have already, we have built the crowdfunding platform. In fact, it's already 10 years. And this is actually our 10th year. And in this 10th year of crowdfunding, we have also, from 2024, we would pivot the way we work, as in not just restricting to only crowdfunding. So even for crowdfunding, we are basically right now tapping on and working with other international crowdfunding portals. We may not want to call ourselves crowdfunding anymore, because right now the scope of work has expanded more than just crowdfunding, where people coming to us in the context of like taking their innovation to go global, which actually I just do a test for one of the university in Thailand for the innovation. I just cast the net out to 5 different countries. And one of the countries that immediately responded was Singapore. Okay. And it goes to tell also that innovation is needed in certain industry. So I see a huge opportunity. And my take for 2024, any of the universities who wants to do crowdfunding, I'm going to park the system over to the universities, and then we can go work out on the business model. Okay. And our role when we park the whole entire crowdfunding system out is that the in-country has to take majority stake. We are just the one behind supporting you. The brand, everything, it will be your brand. It is not going to be ours. You won't see Sinvatana in every corner. Our intent, or my intent, is to empower the country or the organization to get access to funding. And as to how, I will be working with you all, whether it is, engaged as an advisor, engaged as whatever. That to me is not critical. All right. So I'm also opening this to the first 3 universities here to think about leveraging on the system that we've already built, and then take it and front it with your skin, as in the user interface, the look and feel to be whatever that you're doing, whether if it's a Prodigy venture, whether if it's ITI, or whether if it's the Thammasat conversation. All right. So this is 2024 plan. We're like 1 more month, 1.5 months to close 2023. And a lot of things happen in this year. It's definitely very challenging because we are like coming back from COVID, right? So Dr.R, I'd like to hear from you on your perspective, because you keep smiling.
Yeah. Well, I think for funding, 2 things that I like to point out is government funding usually doesn't last too long. I think government, like in Singapore particularly, right? They provide the seed to let you get started. And you would like to see private initiative taking off and taking bigger role as you gain critical mass as we move along, as we progress along. That's one aspect. Government funding is not forever. That's the one perspective of funding. Second aspect of funding is actually the importance of quality. And I think building an ecosystem with high quality startups and making sure that we take risks, but that at the same time, not to take too much risk, to ensure that the ecosystem can grow and can actually evolve and become more and more successful. And I guess in some sense, right, success breeds even more success. And I think from the funding perspective, right, Singapore is a very interesting place because we actually maintain the lead as a top destination for VC investments in 2020 over the last couple of years. And Singapore in 2022 accounted for 56% of total deal volume recorded in 6 largest economies in the region, and 64% of the total deal value itself. So a lot of funding actually done by Singapore, and the investing or the deployment is actually in the region. So we kind of do quite a different thing because of by virtue of our very small economy, small size of our markets. So there's obviously or there's definitely a lot of opportunities to partner foreign or regional universities in this venture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ang. And while time flies, it's nearing to 11. Let me just do a wrap up. And I'd like to thank all my esteemed speakers and contributors, where they speak from their heart, no scripts, truly from their experience. And this is truly what the audience really value. And in summary, I think all the universities have their own program, and there is a lot that is coming out from the universities. As far as Simwatana is concerned, what we are doing is we recognize the hard work and the awesome development that each and every one of the universities have done. And yet we still see gaps where a lot of your great work could be seen out there in the world. And in closing, I wanted to also just wrap it up with the FUNDCHAT conversation, is that the notion of FUNDCHAT is really all about educate, engage, and grow, to develop what we call an interconnected society towards a betterment for the place that we're living in. I shot to say that in 2024, in fact, already started, any projects that comes to us, we basically first look at the green perspective. Is it regenerated or is it degenerated? And this is something that I basically ground to it. And if the project is green enough, it gets us even more excited. If the project is not so green, but trying to be green, we then also look at how we can support that conversation. So I also invite the universities to think a little more about regenerative or towards the angle of green, where I mean, the second time I met Dr. Ang was in UOB sustainability event. So in the larger context, FUNDCHAT will continue to run every Thursday, 9:30 Bangkok time to 11. And I wanted to say that there are lots of funding out there, but one very key conversation to all the business owners and entrepreneurs is, how genuine are you in the work that you're putting forth, and also the forecast that you're putting across to the investors. And I wanted to leave also the statement of, should you put yourself in the investor's shoe, you will change or shift the goalposts of what you put on the table for the investors. So hereby, thank you very much. Khopun naka, terima kasih. And, in Singapore, we say thank you very much for all of you to listen in. And thank you. And have a great day.
Thank you.